All right. Shit, I forgot to hit the go button earlier, and now I am a little bit later than usual. All right. Well, I don't know what exactly to grab. What exactly to do to burn a little bit of time? Chat picks up. Actually. Welcome for ye who has joined. Let's see what's going on the and is multi-stream gonna work? Multi-stream chat. Boom bam bop. Misconfigured? What do you mean misconfigured? How about chat? All right, that looks good. And Twitch is twitching. Yeah, that seems about right. Oh boy. Let me make sure everything is running well. There. And there. And there. Make sure this is going. All right. Let's make sure. Oh, Jesus. YouTube is like way behind. Damn. That ain't good. How far behind is Twitch? All right. Damn, Twitch is struggling. But without further ado, I do have some. I have a few tabs. I finally figured out roughly where I can put my hands, so it looks like they're so it looks like they're kind of doing hand things. Sort of, kind of figured out. Yes, but to begin, need to turn on the window. There we are. So to begin, as you've probably heard, last Monday, a severely unlikable little bundle of sticks. Well, actually, it's just one stick in the bundle. But Keir Starmer, known by some as I can't make that joke. I'm on YouTube. Keir Starmer, as of a few days ago, I believe the 22nd. Yeah, 2022. Not 2022. June 22. Yes. London, June 22. As per Reuters, Keir Starmer was once hailed as the leader who would bring pragmatism and stability to Britain after years of political chaos. Yeah, part of the Labour Party. Everyone knew he wasn't going to do that. I mean, let's be frank here. When's the Labour Party done anything good for the people? Come on. Well, the people that they're supposed to be doing good stuff for. And no, that does not include the people that they have imported. Because Lord knows how many people they've done that with. But I've seen his resignation speech, which was 100% done by Asmongold. Asmongold caused this. I firmly believe this because he called it, and then Trump called it. So I think Trump heard it from Asmon, but that's just a theory, a game theory. But without further ado, let's let the Brit Sig speak, shall we?
I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election.
You should stick around.
I have heard the answer
tank the election
of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
Good, and a lot of people I've been seeing a lot of people saying that, oh my God, he teared up on stage, and he was falling apart. It was absolutely horrible. No, not really. In all fairness, he held himself together pretty well. Do I think it was a little bit staged with the voice cracks and the waver in his voice? A little bit, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's 50-50, in my opinion, at least. I could definitely see how he would be so emotional, mostly because he's I can't say that on YouTube, very pusillanimous of a man. He's lacking in that of a spine. But I definitely see how it could be genuine. I could see how it could be a little bit disingenuous, considering he's part of the Labour Party. And once again, the Labour Party has been known to be very, very disingenuous with some of their stuff. Just look at what Rupert Lowe had to put out, and look at the backlash from Labour Party funded BBC. Remember, kids, the BBC is funded by the Labour Party. Well, it's funded by the government, but that's effectively the Labour Party because the Labour Party is in charge. And I just kind of wanted to point and laugh and say, oh, hey, get a load of this guy. Get a load of that guy, yeah? I just realized I can't actually point out far because my cam tweaks. But following this, actually, a bit of a gear shift. How do you do this? I have... No, stop that. Stop that. I broke it. Look. There we go. As per the ape. Wait, why am I just... Wait a minute, I could just... Oh, right. As per the AP, a federal judge has barred Trump from implementing proof of citizenship requirement to vote, which is lame and gay in the bad way. So, this must have been pretty recent. Updated today. Okay, so must have been either yesterday, midday yesterday or early today. As per Julie Carr Smith, what the fuck? With the Y? As per Julie Carr Smith and Michael Casey through the AP, a federal judge on Wednesday, okay, it was on Wednesday, permanently barred President Trump's administration from implementing most of his first executive order on elections, which we need to get rid of these federal judges. We need to get rid of them. I'm just saying, they aren't elected, and they can just magically usurp the most elected person in the country. I'm just saying. And when I say most elected, I'm not referring to Trump himself. I'm referring to the president. I'm not making that as a, ooh, he won the popular vote, even though he did. But on elections, part of which sought to require people to show documentary proof of citizenship when they register to vote. The ruling by a U.S. District Court Judge Denise Casper in okay, that explains a lot. In Boston, effectively converts a preliminary injunction she issued a year ago, which something about that smells funny to me. And it's not just the rotting carcass smell of this. I can't make that joke. I'm on YouTube. But, in which she temporarily blocked many of Trump's efforts to overhaul elections into a permanent ban. It's wild to me how an unelected for lack of a better description, a bureaucrat, because they don't fucking leave, and all they do is add red tape. And this is including like conservative judges. Conservative judges do this too. Granted, most of them don't just do it on partisanship lines, like they do. God fucking AI. Ew. But most of them don't do it on partisanship lines, like, as you can probably assume, considering Boston. I'm assuming that she is more likely a Democrat judge. But it's crazy to me how one could argue that, a single judge in a single district is capable of just magically making a unilateral block that is permanent. Something to me, little old me, says that is not allowed. But I'm not a judge. What do I know? The ruling by the U.S. District Court, I already read that one. Casper rejected the I need a drink. Hold on. Oh God. It was a little weird when it didn't fizz immediately. It was fucking God. Sorry about that. Anyway, Casper rejected the Republican administration's argument that the lawsuit failed to block the charges brought by Democratic state attorneys general. Brought by Democratic state attorneys general was premature. Lawsuit to block the charges. Okay, to block the charges brought by the Democratic state attorneys general was premature because the rules had yet to be put in. Had yet to be put in place. Did they fucking exist at the time? If they existed, it doesn't matter if they've been put in place yet. In fact, you could actually make the argument that this whole thing, by that logic, from what I'm going to assume, I'm assuming here. So if future information tells me that I'm wrong, I will accept the fact that I'm wrong. But something tells me that the argument here is, well, I can read it right here. The lawsuit doesn't count because the charges brought weren't yet put into place. this this order, this wonderful, big, beautiful executive order, has yet to be put in place because it hasn't been enforced yet, because it hasn't been the midterms. And arguably, if you really wanted to make the if you really wanted to try to make the argument, which I'm going to here, correct me if my logic is flawed, it hasn't been used yet, right? The Trump administration's like force of documentary proof here through the executive order, which I haven't seen any real argument against it, but the requirement to show proof hasn't been used yet, to my knowledge, any beyond any other law. And because it hasn't been implemented yet, once again, to my knowledge, the block that this judge is trying to put on it, to me, seems like it isn't permissible by the judge's own logic, unless I'm reaching for straws here, which, granted, I might be. But let me continue reading. Instead, she agreed that the Constitution gives states and Congress the authority to regulate elections. Not the federal ones. And that Trump's requirements violated the separation of powers. No. In fact, because he's part of the executive branch, he is tasked with handling the laws as an enforcement, which is why every police, anything, whether it be the sheriffs, whether it be police stations, whether it be any sort of enforcement, whether it be even the military, is part of the executive branch. Because it is part of the executive branch, it is under the power of the president, the head of the executive branch. And because this would be enforcing a rule, not creating, but enforcing, because we have voter registration legislation that just isn't used. And even then, and this is the federal election, so I don't give a shit what a state says. It is a Fed problem. So I don't hear the Supreme Court putting any blocks until further notice, because if you really want to make the argument, that would be an equal balance of power. But I'm getting off topic. Long story short, this is fucking stupid. Because let's see, the Constitution does not grant the president any specific powers over elections. Just to quote. Let me see it. Is it on my desk? It should be. I don't think I removed it. Unless I did, and I'm just a fucking idiot. Oh, no, I didn't. As per my handy-dandy trusty pocket constitution. Thank you. I can't say that because it would dox me. Where is the thing in particular that I am looking for? Is it number 11? No, it's not 11. I don't think it is. Hold on. No. Okay, it is the 10th Amendment. Okay, now I understand what bullshit she's trying to pull here with it. Okay. So, the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution states powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I do believe there are federal election laws when it comes to registration for federal elections. But I could be wrong here. Hold on.
federal voter registration requirement.
Vote.gov. Let's see. If you can. Delete. Use your name and your voter registration. Use your party affiliation. Find voter allies. I could have sworn that there was something a little further. Maybe I'm just missing it. Oh? Oh? What's this? What is this? Legal Information Institute? Wait a minute. Electronic Code of Federal Regulations. Federal Elections. National Voter Registration Act. Oh! So there is something! So, the argument here that she made is that it's not immediately given by the Constitution, right? Yeah, the Constitution, quote, does not grant the president any specific powers over the elections. And Amendment 10 is the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution or prohibited by it to the states are reserved for the states respectively or to the people. Now, hold on a minute. Hold on. That doesn't matter because it's already been legislated, right? Right here. The application shall provide, the application shall provide appropriate fields for the applicant's first, last name, general provisions, purpose and scope. Delegated to the Voter Registration Act. They describe format and contents, mail voter registration form. Oh, wait, does this only pertain to mail voting? Like mail-in votes? Required from the states for inclusion to the Commission's biennial report to Congress. Oh. National Mail Voter Registration Form. Okay, so this would only be to become, like, or to get a mail-in ballot. There is more that I'm missing, which is possible. I don't want to linger on this necessarily too heavily. But long story short, a Democrat judge doing Democrat judge slop of, oh, no, you can't do that because reasons. Generations of Americans fought tirelessly for the right to vote, and we honor their legacy by protecting that right against anyone who tries to undermine it, said James, Democrat. James can kick rocks because the Democrats have been abusing and I did it in a video. I showed it. I don't remember which video exactly, or if it was even a video and not a stream. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get all through that. This right here, generations of Americans, it was one, well, depending on how you want to argue it, it was one generation that fought. And it was the case that gave us birthright citizenship. Because basically, guy wanted to be an American, partially because he wanted the right to vote and to be an American, like get all the benefits of it, because he was born in America. He was a Chinaman back in no, not 19 even. I think it was 1889, I think. I want to say it was definitely later 18s. I don't remember the exact date, but 1800s, during the construction of the railroads out in California. Basically, guy wanted to be an American citizen. His parents were permanent Chinese residents, but due to certain laws, the Chinese weren't allowed to be American citizens, and any of their descendants weren't allowed to be American citizens. And he was like, yo, that's actually like dumb. and here's why. And he won in court. So generations, one. Any other generation it was given to, specifically the slaves via the 13th Amendment, which was then bastardized by I think it was Wong case? Can't remember. It's been a while. But this is just a crock of shit. The government taking steps to include citizenship requirements in the voter registration. Federal voter registration. Oh, wait, there's a federal registration form? You mean, wait, a form that would require it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, just maybe, we should just require it in the first place. That's just me. Other news. Apparently, Gavin Newsom is in a bit of a hot water. I happened across this, and I didn't look into it, so this is first impressions. Gavin Newsom is reportedly under federal investigation. Last week, the California governor released a recorded statement claiming that federal agents are combing through records as part of an inquiry targeting him and his wife in recent days. Newsom said federal agents have knocked on doors of friends and former employees, not because they found crime, but because they're simply trying to find one. I want to give a little bit of a preface to that. I know what he's talking about. I remember this, or at least if this is what I'm thinking of, which I believe it is. That was actually initiated under the Biden administration. Just to make sure that is clear, it is not directly like retribution. Now, is it a little bit of a, hey, let's go extra hard on this guy because we already have an in and we have extra reason to? Maybe. But this wasn't started out of nowhere. This was started by the same, basically Gavin's party. So if you get your own party in this day and age to start something, like start an investigation on you, buddy boy, you're not doing too good. Anyway, as federal agents examined Newsom's connections, we decided to do the same. We reviewed records dating back to his tenure as mayor of San Francisco. They revealed that over nearly 3 decades in politics, Newsom has amassed a network of appointees, employees, and associates implicated in a range of ethical violations and criminal offenses, including, in some cases, serious felonies. Oh, really? I'm not surprised. Anyway, Newsom has suggested he wants to improve California's culture of self-dealing. How much money in hospice fraud again? Too much. How much for that high-speed rail that has yet to be built? I don't remember. Too fucking much. So forgive me if I don't really give a shit, Gavin. You're spouting nonsense. Kick rocks and 69 a porcupine. Anyway, culture of self-dealing. Last year, his spokesperson said, quote, "The governor expects all public servants to uphold the highest standards of integrity." End quote. Our review reveals that, in fact, Newsom has surrounded himself with corruption and criminals. Wow, really? I never would have guessed. This is Newsom's circle of corruption. Allegedly, Diana Williamson. Allegedly, London Breed. Allegedly, Mohammed Nehru. Allegedly, Walter Wong. Oh my God. This... And if he wasn't into Wong, he'd be Walter White. Great chef, I hear. allegedly Tom Girardi? Girardi? Girardi. 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 Allegedly Malahatfi Rafai. Rafai. Rafii. Rafai. EI. Allegedly Mark Ridley Thomas. Allegedly Victor Marcus, and allegedly Harlan Kelly. Allegedly Regina Santos. Rudolph Dwayne Jones. Allegedly. Oh boy, this is a lot. I will actually copy this. I will plop it down and chat for you to read it on your own. And I will also throw it in Kick Chat because oh god. Ah. Don't you hate it when you feel like a hair tickling your nose? Ugh. But oh boy. Yeah, fucking seriously. Spare me with your fake outrage about Gavin Newsom. Here's a document that outlines all of Trump's pay-to-play schemes. Okay. And if you want to talk about pay-to-play, look at the Biden administration with, well, not Biden himself, necessarily. There's no proof shown. But back during the Obama administration days, Hunter Biden was part of Burisma, which he had no reason to be on the board of. So, pay-to-play. I don't want to hear it. All right. As per commentary, Donald J. Trump posts from, and that is a whole lot. Can't. I think that's from Truth Social is what it's going to say. Hold on. I need a swig of. Oh God. It's all like half foam. God. There we go. Me. No. Big news. The U.S. Postmaster General has just informed Congress that the Postal Service will not deliver mail-in ballots in the 2026 midterms. Absolutely not. None at all, unless, that is to say, if they refuse to comply with President Trump's Save America Act election integrity executive order. This tough stance by the Postmaster General dramatically raises the stakes to secure voting rights. Only verified citizens receive ballots. I need to learn like some of the Naruto hand signs so I can do them while doing the Trump speech. Like wait, let me. Boom, bam, bop, bing, bop, bam. Something like that. And I am happy to hear this. Now, I do want to make very evident that normally, the post office is usually pretty neutral. Like, you don't really see the post office move much unless, you're violating mail laws or you're sending funny no tubes over the mail waves. They don't like that either. They really don't like that. But it's nice to see that the Postmaster General is doing something. And I'm not saying, oh, they're do nothing. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, however, is that it's nice to finally see someone doing something, even when they don't have to. Especially when it comes to like a lot of the concerns in California. Sorry, I get allergic to potential fraud. It's nice to see, considering all of the shenanigans and all of the questionable stuff. Whether you want to talk about the 2020 election, or if you want to talk about California's, which I guess you could, but it's nice to see this in action. Although I am concerned that a certain group of people, not as a race, as an ideology. No, I'm not talking about Muslims for once. I'm talking about the Democrats. I can't wait to see some judge say, no. Hold on, wait, I have to turn off my my voice adjuster for this. Hold on. Shooby dooby. Shooby dooby. Yeah, I'm just way quieter without it. It's kind of annoying. But I don't want to hear some. I don't want to hear some.
Oh my god! How could you do this? Oh my goodness, you're disenfranchising so many people!
Oh, yeah, I have to readjust the volume. Sorry about that. I just really, that's going to drive me nuts when I see it because I know they're going to do it. And unfortunately, this is a common trend of, oh, we have some judge in Ungadungadoo somewhere in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, California. And I know it's not all of California. It's unfortunately just enough of it. You're going to have some random fuck-ass judge in Ungadungadoo County of Walla Walla Bing Bang City in California. All of these are alleged. I don't know if either of those are actual things. But it's... I can't wait to see it happen. That way we can finally point out and say, yep, they're just literally just trying to stop this. And unfortunately, every time it happens, we get closer and closer to not being able to fix it. And instead, it will just be a downward spiral into nothing good. Oh, yeah. We also have this. Vicky Palladino. This is grounds to not... no. I'm going to do an honest interpretation. This is grounds to not seat her. The oath of office is not some not some boilerplate formality. It is a legally binding component of our government, designed specifically to prevent people like Chevalier from holding office in America. The GOP majority must make it clear that individuals who cannot uphold their oath in good faith will not be seated. And helping to found a group whose stated mission is to eradicate America is the most plain and obvious conflict. While the oath you could of the with it with with. There we go. Words are hard. Call me Gavin Newsom the way I'm not able to fucking read. Just kidding. The oath you could possibly imagine. We need to fight the DSA with every tool available. Every tool. Because, make no mistake, they'll put us all up against the wall as soon as they have the chance. And this is a repost of this. Daraliza Avila Chevalier is a founder of CHOD. The organization's stated objective intentions is, quote, to undermine and eradicate America through the use of quote, violence in America. She is now the Democrat nominee for New York District 13. Okay, so yeah, true divestment necessitates nothing short of the total collapse of the university structure and American empire itself. It is not possible for imperial spoils. Imperial spoils. Hang on, let me properly align this. Come on, no, do the thing. Imperial spoil. Yeah, fuck you. Sorry, I'm talking to my hand. There we are. Imperial spoils. To remain so heavily concentrated in the metropole and its high cultural repositories without the continuous suppression of all What? It is not possible for imperial spoils to remain so heavily concentrated in the metropole and its high cultural repositories without the continuous suppression of all populations that resist the empire's expansion. To divest from this is to undermine and eradicate America as we know it. What the fuck does this mean? Okay, Nothing Burger term number 1, imperial spoils. Remain so heavily concentrated in the metropole. Like, I assume the metropole is like any realistic, like, major any major economic center, or even potentially just the economic center as a concept. But I don't know that for sure because I'm not them. And its high cultural repositories without the continuous suppression of all populations that resist the empire's expansion. What does it mean by the empire's expansion? Let's be frank. If the empire wanted to expand, if America was this horrible empire, who would stop us? Huh? Realistically, the only people that could even put up a relative fight would be, oh yeah, anyone with a nuke. And that would realistically be it. And that is assuming that we don't know where their nukes are. Anyone in NATO, we know where they are. Anyone, well, I shouldn't say anyone. Plenty of the ones in China, we know where they are. We know that North Korea has at least one. And it's the size of, well, it's only as big as North Korea. And we have way more than enough to potentially hit it anywhere. Of all populations that resist the empire's expansion. Like, in the wise words of Joe Biden, what are you going to do against the government? They got helicopters. Now, granted, I hate quoting that man, but I can only suspend disbelief and deoxygenate my brain so long until eventually, like, I just can't fully comprehend how someone can be this much of a mouth breather. Like, genuinely. And plus, this right here is some of the same wording, for lack of a better description, that was able to pass the the Communist Control Act of 1950, I think it was 1950. Basically the one that kicked off a lot of the Red Scare stuff, or rather was a result of the Red Scare. It was, what's his nuts? Not McCarthy. No. It was McCarthy who really kicked off the Red Scare, or is attributed to having kicked it off. But like, this action is first and foremost an effort to extend the success of the Palestinian hold on. Oh, fucking Christ. How can people be this retarded? The world may never know. But anyway, there, let me close all those tabs. And let me continue. As per the DOJ, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announces the result of the 2026 National Health Care Fraud takedowns. 455 defendants charged in connection with $6.5 billion. $6.5 billion. I said, wow, that's a whole lot of money. It's wow, just wow. And an alleged fraud. This announcement marks, oh, sorry, hold on. Quote, this announcement marks the greatest combined federal and state effort in combating healthcare fraud in history. Combating healthcare fraud in history. Thanks to the leadership of POTUS and VP and all the folks standing behind me and next to me, we are more united than ever before. This team is working tirelessly to take down fraudsters who steal from taxpayer-funded programs and prey on vulnerable Americans. Hell yeah. Wait a minute, isn't that just the one that they illegally released his tax returns? This same DOJ is currently under front of it. Except the investigation that would be referred to was a long time, like long ago. So matter fuck. Okay, that's kind of funny. Oh no. Oh no. Hey, what was the one in the Jackson video that I did? Yeah, under Biden literally like pardoned a guy who was convicted of what all was what all was it? I don't remember. Big numbers and a lot of other things, including jury tampering, including, I believe, murder, including, I believe, murder of a jury member. But I don't remember that for certain. I would need to double check. It sticks in my mind, though. But that's just me, so I really don't care. Oh, wow, that's 1, 11, 12, 72, 102, 132, 152, on 212, 244, 417, 617. So what I'm understanding is less than 500 million, which is a lot. Bribery fraud. Wait, so okay, tax fraud based. I don't care. Second, he says tax fraud. Oh no. Bank fraud, that's not government money necessarily. Bank fraud, not government money. Investor losses, investor fraud, not government money. Medicare fraud billed. Look into that. Oh, you're just not gonna give an example of this, not gonna give an example of this. Wow, maybe you should. Because I'm not seeing, aside from tax fraud right here. Unless they're just blank for the fun of it. Damn, it's almost like these don't fucking matter because it's not talking about whatever kind of fucking bullshit this is. Not talking about bank fraud, not talking about investor losses. This is about government money. If only people could rotate that apple. Oh, yeah. Also by the United States Department of Justice. Leader of Antifa cell members in North Texas sentenced to 100 years in prison. Damn. You should have just held on to the firework instead of throwing it. Would have worked way better. To 100 years in prison for a terrorist attack on ICE facility. Wait, I actually read that right. Hold on. Sentenced to 100 years for terrorist attack on ICE facility. Okay. 7 additional defendants also sentenced before 1 year anniversary of attack to a combined 450 years in prison. Oh, how horrible. This is the first sentencing of defendants affiliated with Antifa following POTUS's executive order designating the group as a domestic terrorist organization in September of 2025, which was fucking based.
Good, good. I smile. See this? This is a happy face.
The sentences handed down today make it clear that Antifa terrorists who attack law enforcement and federal facilities will face swift and uncompromising justice, said Acting Attorney General DAG Todd Blanche. Continuing, their violent extremism has no place in our country, and the Department of Justice will continue to aggressively investigate, disrupt, and prosecute those who threaten law enforcement officers or undermine the rule of law. And some of the stuff, I don't know what that is. What? Almost looks like a funnel or something. I wonder if that's a funnel. I wonder if they. Oh no, it's a broken camera. Okay, okay, that is what that is. Yep. Yeah, and good because this right here, I can guarantee it. In the future, we are going to see a major crackdown and a major drop in Antifa related stuff, and I'm talking about those. This isn't a race thing. The black bloc, just amorphous block of fucking stop it. The box of random ass. Everyone is dressed in black. Everyone is doing the exact same thing because, well, they're all in on the same thing, and they're all helping each other by looking like each other. And I can't wait for the day where, you know, it's just as simple as, oh, wait, are you sure that this is the guy? Yeah. Did you grab everyone who looks like him? No. Oh, you have body cams that can reasonably shut? Yep. Hey, jury, do you think this is the guy? Yep. Okay. Like, I can't wait for the day where people are just fed up. Because you don't get 100 years for nothing. And you don't get 100 years without jurors who are willing to give you 100 years. And a judge who's willing to give you 100 years too. So, yippee. This is based and red pilled, as the kids would say. But following this, yeah, so a little bit, hold on, before I show this, a little bit of backstory. So this is Richard High, also known as Angry Cops. He works in the Buffalo District of New York as a police officer. Long story short, he does a lot of cop content, as you can tell. He is very good in the content that he does, and he's even critical of the police, like right here. This Air Force base has a serious problem. Selling javelins to civilians. Police give cell phone ticket to amputee. Like, he is critical openly to bad policing. And if there's bad policing and he hears about it, he will rip into it, rightfully so. That being said, a while ago, about a year at this point, I believe is when it started. I actually don't know if I can show all of that. But about a year ago, let me... Buffalo. Yeah, so initially about a year ago, is it only 18 months? It feels like it was longer ago than that. I believe a year ago, he released a video talking about how there was systematic negligence, for lack of better description, and this is all alleged, as alleged through angry cops. I am recounting what I remember the videos being about. But in his videos, he alleged severe misconduct when it came to reporting any assaults or violence or neglect or abuse of children in the Buffalo school system. And he had a lot of evidence that would support his claims. Immediately after he posted that, a bunch of news outlets shat on him, like liquid shat. Like it was miserable to listen to because it was like so fucking stupid. And if you wanted to see a disingenuous, in bad faith reporting, you could definitely find them. I'm not gonna show them because I probably can't without getting, you know, my weenie slapped because copyright infringement or something. But at the time, a bunch of the news outlets decided to side with the Buffalo school system because something, probably money, in my opinion, something. And just recently, as of June 23rd, yesterday, 2026, when cops misuse social media, Julia Bowening, Karan Hubbard, Natalia Davidson, Meredith Taylor, Dylan Von Breda, and Shinchin Ki Chu. Xing Chu. USA Today Network. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, I have not read this. But let's see. Let's, by virtue of the initial title that I saw, I'm already not inclined to be happy. Like I expect the worst here. Huh. Hold up. We gotta get banned, idiot. What a fucking scumbag. Let me see. Can I refresh this? Yeah, get all that shit out of here. Ugh. I hate my internet. I hate it. I hate it. But let me see. Yeah, how is the stream going? Pull this over to the side here. Oh, no, not you. Let's see. What is the... Oh, that's running. That's running. It's a little choppy. And that's just slow. No, it's working all right. Streamlabs. Christ on a bike. But this does not spark joy. I can only assume the worst. But without further ado, when cops misuse social media, it's not just Buffalo's angry cop. A joint USA Today Network Syracuse University investigation found police in New York faced limited discipline for social media okay, yeah, it's gonna be one of these. Oh boy. Let's point and laugh, shall we? Buffalo police Detective. Oh, yeah, he's a detective. I should specify that. As the historic social... Actually, hang on. You know what? I'm not even going to give it the courtesy of a proper reading. I'm going to give it the...
I'm gonna give it the squeaky voice. Yeah. As the historical justice movement gripped the nation in 2020, as the historical social justice movement gripped the nation in 2020, Sergeant Fernando Fred Pacisa.
What the fuck is that? Pacisa? Pakisa? Pasiksa?
Pacisa III and his fellow Rome police officers were dispatched to a Black Lives Matter protest in Central City, in a small city in upstate New York. It wasn't long before demonstrators found Pacisa's public Facebook posts and read them over a loudspeaker, inflaming tensions in the crowd.
Oh, God. Fuck.
After an internal investigation, the police department identified at least one of Pacisa's posts in his personal Facebook account as racist.
Pardon me?
It involved him describing a Middle Eastern gas station employee.
Fuck, I'm...
Employee
Me when I'm slightly sick.
as Mr. Camelman, making fun of his accent while referring to the
While referencing the phrase Allahu
Akbar, and joking about placing a post-it note to the worker on a Scud missile. At social justice rally, Pacisa had also inadvertently told a man described by protesters as a known white supremacist about future rallies, and police department staffing levels, investigators noted.
Okay, what the fuck does this have to do? You literally just used him so far as just bullshit. Okay, so it's literally just Basisa ultimately lost 5 vacation days. Okay, so people bitched and moaned and he got in trouble for it. Boo fuckity who, grow a spine. Don't be a pussy. Grow a fucking spine. But in other things, continuing on,
Pacisa's case was not an anomaly. Examples range from Buffalo's nationally notorious Angry Cop, who, in a lawsuit, alleges he's been denied promotions because of his high-profile social media activity, to the inappropriate tweets of a small-town Hudson Valley officer. Through analyzing almost 150 pages of misconduct records and 50 pages of internal social media policies, the New York Department's social justice... That's not fucking social justice, retard. You gotta fucking read the paper. Journalists found that officers generally face minimal discipline for social media misconduct. The findings stood in stark contrast to the industry's nation outside of law enforcement.
Industries outside of law enforcement can do what industries outside of law enforcement want to do. Big fucking whoop.
Such as education and entertainment.
Both of those are Democrat ran, so I don't want to fucking hear anything. Yeah, it's ran by a bunch of pusillanimous losers. I will say it here and now. Anyway, where was I?
Where employees have recently faced quicker and more severe punishments for their social media commentary.
It's their personal social media. So fucking what?
The discrepancy becomes clear when looking at the wave of social media firings and suspensions that unfolded across the country after the killing of the conservative activist Charlie Kirk in 2025. More than 100 people, around half of them educators, faced varying repercussions for posting controversial comments about Kirk's death.
Yeah, because they're encouraging the political killing of a person who, if you've watched his content, did nothing beyond literally just sit down and talk with people. Or sometimes stood up and talked with people, depending on the location. So, any attempt to equate and the issue with angry cops, the misuse of social media, all of this only came up after he had posted about how, quite literally, the media was lying about his coverage and the entire situation involving Buffalo Public Schools. This right here is a very disingenuous and utterly disgusting equation. It is beyond just a false equivalency. This is just downright deplorable. But, that's an opinion. Continuing forward.
Face varying repercussions for posting controversial comments about Kirk's death, the USA Today reported. At the same time, many police departments have vague guidelines for breaches in social media conduct.
Because they're fucking adults. As long as what they say on social media doesn't happen during their job, it doesn't fucking matter.
Making decisions on a case-by-case basis.
Which you should do. You should. If you have a situation, like, I've said plenty of things that if you take it out of context, it would sound horrible. Which is why, if you're going to evaluate things I say, don't do it blanket, do it by case. It's the same thing with other commentators. Like, look at Asman. Asman had a really shitty take. I fucking talked about it on a stream a few days ago. Quite frankly, one of the worst takes I've heard from him. And considering, he then defended part of his take by saying, no, this character's completely different. Which, Asman, no. Because we're not talking about how they act. We're talking about the look. And even then, the opinion was fucking stupid. It was stupid by the argument that he presented. And also by the sheer premise of it. But, getting off topic, and yeah, getting the case-by-case thing, you should just do that in general. You really should. It shouldn't just be a blanket policy. A blanket policy is what led to the people who, get in trouble for punching back against a bully. The bully can punch them 1,000, or not 1,000, that's hyperbolic. A bully can punch someone 10 times. And if that person punches them once, they're equal under the eyes of a blanket policy, like what apparently they want in this. Or what they're complaining about the lack of. So, I don't fucking care. Anyway.
Policies are further muddled by the separation of an officer as an employee and a private citizen themselves.
Which it should be. It should be separate. As long as the private citizen does not affect the officer aspect of the person, it doesn't fucking matter.
Some state lawmakers have also raised new concerns about the laws and regulations involved in firing police officers for misconduct, citing USA Today's network reporting on the process, called decertification.
Yes, my argument is going to boil down to making fun of them by insinuating that they're retarded via the noises I make, which is in fact a good form of argument. But, continuing forward.
New York police discipline records first became available after George Floyd's death at the hands of Minneapolis.
Minneapolis? What the fuck does that have to do with New York?
Police officers in 2020 sparked national protests. Amid that movement, New York legislators voted to repeal a law that kept officer misconduct secret for decades. Called Section 50A of New York State's Civil Rights Law.
Oh, so you repealed a civil right. A very Democrat thing to do. Of course, the Democrats don't care about your rights. Because why would they? They only care about their rights because, well, they can use those against you. And your rights get in the way of them using their rights against you.
For State Senator Louis What the fuck is that? Sepulveda. Sepulveda? I don't know. I can't fucking read! One of the 50A repeal's co-sponsors, it helped push police toward a higher level of accountability. That he believes, it doesn't fucking matter what he believes. I don't give a shit. He can fucking take a stick and shove it up his ass. I don't care. That he believes would be the expectation for any police servant. Public servant. That doesn't say police. Fucking read, Haster.
Pardon me 1 second, just need a little drink. Ah! Look. It's all fucking foam! Can't take a swig of that wonderful cherry RC without fucking drowning. Anyway.
Buffalo's angry cop. Then there's the case of Detective Richard High, currently assigned to the Buffalo Police Department's Special Victims Unit. Widely known as Angry Cop, High butted heads with his department brass for much of his 14-year career as a police officer. In 2016, he was suspended for 22 days without pay for his satirical videos, posted to Vine in early years, later to a YouTube channel, which the department said violated its social media policies. High's videos are frequently profane and controversial. They have attracted millions of viewers. Last year, on a well-known conservative podcast, High accused Buffalo school officials of obstructing a police investigation into an attempted kidnapping.
Which they did. Like, there's ample evidence to support this claim. And in my opinion, they did.
Recently, he published several videos taking issue with Investigative Post's reporting on the February death of Nurul. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Nurul Armin Shah Alam. After the nearly blind Burmese
What the fuck? Rohingya?
refugee was detained then released by federal immigration officials.
Kick rocks.
High also has a robust record of in real life misconduct. Last year, the Attorney General found he'd, quote, engaged in a pattern of misconduct, of escalating encounters with civilians, including by using physical force, discourtesy, and unprofessional conduct. That finding was based on a review of 8 incidents.
Kill yourself. I don't want to see it. You get fucking deleted. Just... Wait, get that fuck over here. Yeah, that's what I fucking want to see. No, there it is. Deleted. Banned forever. Where was I before I was so rudely interrupted?
Engaged in a pattern of
Oh wait, no, not that.
That finding was based on a review of 8 incidences, including one which he intentionally backed his patrol car into a motorcyclist when both were stopped at a red light. The city paid the motorist $65,000 to settle the resulting lawsuit.
You not gonna leave a link to that? I would love to see exactly the greater context of that, because you can't just make a claim like that and not at least have something to prove it. Especially considering this whole thing is a shit piece. Like, let's be frank here. And I know I haven't provided any evidence directly that Buffalo School District has done the things that they have done. Mostly because I'm saying that Hyde has done this, and I've already pointed out, well, actually, I didn't point anything out. They themselves showed it right here, which I don't believe that's actually the... Actually, let me see. Yeah, did it say the media? The media. Let me search up media. Oh, they didn't... It looks like they didn't use the real one. Oh, wow!
Wow! What a fucking surprise! It's almost like I kind of expected this. Because it's a fucking journalist. You can't fucking trust a journalist.
Fuck, that hurt. Note to self. I can't reach that octave comfortably. Man. Imagine if you took, like, one of those really frayed, fuck, not formaldehyde. Well, it has formaldehyde in it. Burlap. Like, a line from a burlap sack. And, like, ran it across your, like, the inside of your throat. That's what that just felt like. Like, hitting that really fucking high part. Wow. But yeah, considering they've already lied with this, or rather, they've already severely misrepresented him with this right here, I'm going to assume that they're kind of pulling a bullshit with this, considering they're not going to lead to a... There's an update? Oh, this is an old one. Okay, so they're gonna reference... They're gonna reference an old story. But they're not gonna, you know, provide anything for this claim. Okay, I see how it is. Eat shit, funny man.
In 2021, High filed a grievance alleging that he'd been denied a promotion because of his social media activity. In 2023, he was promoted to detective, then to lieutenant. He later opted to return to the rank of detective. Last week, High sued the department in federal court, once again arguing his social media activity had led superiors to stymie his advancement through the ranks. For a record show about media's misconduct.
And so fucking what? Of the more than 25...
Of the more than 2,500 records included in the United States Today Network's database of police disciplinary records, 13 involved officer misconduct on social media as a primary factor.
Sorry. Needed to do that to clear my throat.
6 of the 13 occurred between March 2020 and October 2021, during the height of the social justice movement. Just one of these cases in which an officer contacted a suspect's wife on Facebook amid an investigation into a mobile methamphetamine lab resulted in termination.
Why? Why? Alright, let's see. Are they even gonna... Okay, so they're just gonna use this whole thing to shit on police officers. Whole lot of shit on police officers. I mean, hey. Oh no, one of the people that are tasked with putting their lives online every day, because we have crack addicts and hold on, let me Let me turn my voice back to normal. So you're telling me that the people who put their lives on the line basically every day aren't allowed to potentially be a little bit spicy in their private lives? I mean, me personally, if I had the chance to be shot, I'd be plenty spicy even in my professional life, mostly because I have the chance of being shot. But of course, investigative post, it's a journalist, so, well, actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 journalists! You can't hate journalists enough. But that's just me, some yellow retard on the internet. Anyway, uh-oh. Aw, what? When did I lose connection? When did that happen? What is this bullshit? No. Anyway. Shall I continue? Idaho Capitol Sun reports. I know, I just said I hate the media, but that's only when they're being disingenuous. I do like the media when they are being honest, which fortunately is few and far between. Idaho governor signs into law child sex abuse death penalty bill despite U.S. Supreme Court ruling. Don't care. Do not care. And if you, in the wise words of the Constitution, the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. So, I would love to know what the U.S. Supreme Court said, but I don't know. I don't know exactly if this is as genuine as possible. What the fuck is that name? And oh shit, this is... Wait a minute, this is last year? This is last year. What the fuck? Yeah, this is the fucking, yeah, this is the firing squad bell, isn't it? Oh, jeez. I didn't realize it was that old. Right. I can't show that one, unfortunately. Another W by by Japanese Twitter. There's a new show on Amazon. Citizen Vigilante, I believe is what it's called. And everything I've seen about it is pretty good. Something, maybe a little bit, you know, a little bit of a nail on a head situation, but all things considered, seems pretty accurate. Let's see. Ooh, right. I don't think I can show that on stream, but I can pull it over to the side and I can play it. So good enough. That's good enough. Always good enough. All right, so actually here, let me minimize that. That way it's not, yeah, it's not playing on this, but you can still hear it. By Basil the Great. British police officer attacks young girl with a baton, then pulls a taser. Something. Yeah, British. And I just realized that's not going to show. There we go. Yeah. British. They don't care about the people. Or at least, you know, the British ones.
Go on, you money! Yeah, you're being dispersed for the breach of the peace. Right, we get lots of money, don't you? Just stop swearing and get moving.
Stop swearing and get out of here. Gross spine. Whoa! Whoa, hold on. Okay.
Yo, what's he doing? Yo, was he mad?
All right, so let me narrate basically what happened. So, uh, 3 girls. You can vaguely make them out here. There's a fourth one, not important in this case. There is a lady in black, a lady in like a purple, and a lady in white. Or I guess these are girls, so I can't fucking tell from this angle. But long story short, the one in black is beside the one in maroon. The cop is talking to the one in maroon. The one in maroon is like pretty in the face of the cop. The one in white is over to her side. It would be this side over here. Off to the side of her, trying to like, hey, let's go. The one in black is to her left and is kind of like trying to keep the cop and her separated, like one of these sorts of deals, like, hey, back it up between you two. She's kind of doing one of those. Like, it looks, granted, you can't see everything because one, she's behind 2 people, but in a moment you can see once. So as she's trying to like keep them separate, she touches the cop then reaches out and swats her and pushes her. And as he pushes her, you can actually see the one in purple, her one arm move, and you can see the lady in black holding on to the arm. So that is where I'm drawing that conclusion. And then the one in purple, maroon, basically is like, yo, broski, you can't just shove my girl like that, and like lightly tap, like does one of those on him, and then he pushes her. Oh, and the one in white is squaring up. Well, standing up, rather. Like, there's not much square. But, yeah, she gets confrontational stance between the 2 of them and the cop. And kind of, I don't want to say, like, chicken heads, but... Yeah, she pushes against the cop, like, trying to push him back. She's having her arms out still. The cop then approaches, continues to push until eventually, like, there's 2 other girls that you can't quite see. They all kind of coagulate together. What appears to be either a lady cop or a very effeminate man, police officer, comes up beside them and is kind of back to the side of the first cop. Oh. Oh yeah, nope. This is not gonna end well. Oh. I don't know if those are tasers, buddy. Those are the black suit cops. Yeah, they're the they're the ones that you're not supposed to see at night. And that one has some yellow. And that one has something that's way too bright. I think did they tase one? I didn't hear a taser pop. Yeah, so, whoop-de-fucking-do, British police officers being British police officers and not helping the people that they really should be. Why am I not surprised? I'm not going to play that game with I know, I'll say all sorts of funny words. I will not show violence against children on the stream. But you can watch it for yourself via Basil the Great. Basil, maybe? This guy, right here. So, I'm actually gonna... That's a subscribe. I want to follow. What if I want to follow? There we go. Yay! But yeah, it's, Yep. Mm-hmm. But I definitely would take a look for it for yourself, should you be so inclined. And speaking of the Brits, oh yeah, fun fact: the nudge police is a real thing. Mm-hmm. And this lady kind of proved it. Uh, police guided. Never let the police guide you in anything you fucking say. They are the government. You do not like the government because the government does not like you. Police guided the grieving mother of Rhiannon White, stabbed 23 times by a Sudanese asylum seeker in October of 2024, to soften her public statements, fearing the truth might provoke social unrest. Pardon me. Siobhan White says the officers told her they didn't want another Southport, and has since accused the prime minister of having blood. Well, actually, there's no fucking this to it. Having blood on his hands. All right, but yeah, hotel worker and toning down the public statements. Yeah, a bunch of whole lot of happy horse shit. But Daily Skeptic, if you would like to read it, there you go. Go ahead and take a screenshot and you can read it on the side. Okay. Oh, yeah. The right-wing candidate won in Colombia. Yippee! And it's also kind of funny because someone... Oh, yeah. We also stopped sending USAID money. I'm not saying there's a correlation. I'm just saying that it just happened around the same time. And it's kind of funny how that happens. And on the note of this guy winning, the previous president, Colombian president, technically still in power because he hasn't left yet, Gustavo Petro, says he does not recognize the results of the Colombian election. Of course not. He's a fucking communist. Communist dictator. Accusing Israel of compromising Colombia's election software. The Jews. But, there's not much more beyond this. Oh, shit. Oh, wait, this guy might be onto something. So, in other words, our taxpayer dollars were used to keep most of Latin America corrupt socialist hellscapes controlled by drug dealers. Then we allowed those fleeing what we paid for to come in illegally so we can support them and use their mere pressure to add Democratic congressional seats. Presence to add Democratic congressional seats. Yeah, that's a good point. That's basically what happened. Oh boy. Oligarch Kabuki. Let's see, and of course he's going to make the argument that he is Israel first. Let's see. De La Esparela claims he wants to subordinate Colombia's foreign policy to that of the United States. Okay. Welcomed the U.S. attack against Venezuela in 2026 and has repeatedly stated that future diplomatic relationships with Venezuela will be channeled through the United States Department of State. Okay. He also says he wants to restore diplomatic ties with Israel, which were severed by the Colombian government in protest against the Gaza genocide and war. So he just wants to like make friends again. So wait, were the other leaders who had diplomatic ties during their presidency with Israel, were they also Israel first? I thought it worth noting that a lot of the Colombian like area got a lot of subsidization through outside business, specifically with other countries that don't share good interests with the United States. Russia, China, Iran. Oh wait, isn't? Oh right, it's the Iran conflict and the Gaza genocide and the terrorists. I would need to know when it was severed, but if my memory serves, Iran was funding the people who did the attack, which eventually led to the Gaza war. Is not a genocide. If it were a genocide, riddle me this. Why is it that more buildings have died than people? Why is it that whenever you look at the numbers of people, it consistently, the death toll has gone down over the course of like the war? It was initially this huge number, and then it dropped, and then it dropped, and then it dropped instead of going up like most wars would. It's just funny to me. He further announced that he would like to open, or he would open an embassy in Jerusalem, thereby breaking with Colombia's traditional position on the conflict. In late 2025, he met with center-right Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, whom he promised to strengthen the bonds of friendship and cooperation between Colombia and Israel. Okay. Oh, he's being a diplomat. Big fucking whoop. The Jews! I don't know. But. That's everything I have for that, actually. And with all that being said, I don't have anything too crazy for you. Crazier than usual. So, with all that being said, I know this has been a shorter stream. I wish that I had more. There hasn't been a whole lot of anything crazy that's happened. But. It has been a pleasure to be here, aside from the two people who keep wanting me to use fucking bots, which is gay. But that'll be it for me. That'll be it from me for today. Over the course of next week, I can't guarantee that I will be streaming. Basically, I'm going to be shifting up my shift at work. I'm going to be, instead of working from first, I'm going to be working into a second shift. So I can't guarantee when I'm going to stream. But I hope to continue streaming. And in the event that I, for some reason, can't find a good time to stream, I will revert back to making videos that I used to make, which I kind of want to make a video. But that'll be it from me. I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream as much as you could have. And I can't quite tell who is watching from where. Let me take a gander. Let me take a propaganda. Let me look. And of course, it's going to fucking. It's offline. So yeah, Twitch is gay and lame. Let's look at what Kick has. Let's look at what YouTube has. Who is viewing from here? Let's do /raid. All right, let's see. Oh, wait, how do I raid and Kick? Let me. Nope, no. I want to raid into the. I want to raid into the racist clown. No, not clown, elf. I'm thinking of a different person. The racist elf. How do I raid into the racist elf? How do I raid? God fucking damn it. That's User VIP. What? I can't believe I have to use. Dear God, kick. Keep it to yourself. How to raid in. Host. Did it do the thing? It didn't. Well, that's unfortunate. No reason.